Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be NegativeZero taking on BenBotBC. These two bots are both incredibly fun to watch and have had some really good matches in the past. I feel like it's still not quite explored just what happens when they get down to the really nitty-gritty late game. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, if you haven't already, click that like button, leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll say it again, subscribe to the channel. Maybe I'll have to start doing that for the routine breaking or whatever. I know that it's like in Starcraft 2, whenever you play, it's like you can be supply blocked and your brain just ignores it. But if you've ever gone and changed your announcer, it sticks out more. So that's actually something I recommend if you play the ladder a fair bit, is to change your announcer. It almost makes you listen to the alerts a little bit more, as opposed to your brain just tuning them out. Maybe the same thing's true with my videos, so I'll just try and put maybe some more emphasis on it. Anyway, big thanks to everyone that does support the channel via the YouTube membership program. It goes a long way, and I appreciate everyone who does that. And yeah, just a big thanks to everyone who has supported this incredible run of posting videos pretty much daily for, gosh, I don't know, it's been a while now of casting bot games. And I think I've only missed like the odd one where I misscheduled an upload or something like that, which does happen when you're doing like back-to-back videos in one session. Sometimes I get a date wrong or something like that. But yeah, just a big thanks to everyone that does support. I do want to give a bit of a heads up in the sense that we may be departing from daily videos for a little bit as this proxy goes underway. We have BenBot going for a proxy Rax. NegativeZero canceled that Nexus in response to it. It's going up to 3 gateways and a robo, just saying, no way, I'm not getting up a Nexus. There is a probe scout still scouting out BenBot's command center. The Rax was proxied fairly far away. NegativeZero has dealt with this before, and I'm sure it will be able to deal with it this time. I'm not overly concerned. It is still impressive how NegativeZero can sort of play out off of one base for so long, but it does a very good job of it. And yeah, so as I was saying, I've mentioned it the odd time here on the channel. I'm going to be going to school in September. I'm proud to, and prior to that, I'm actually going to be getting married and going on a honeymoon, which is something that we're both very much looking forward to. And just that I'm proud to say that I've been able to double up on videos daily for a while now in order to get a nice backlog. So despite not being here for a month, we'll still have videos daily on the channel. But after that, as NegativeZero tries to break this contain, a rare bit of micro glitching from NegativeZero actually. Yeah, unable to kill that SCV, so failing to clean this up, unfortunately. Yeah, as I was saying, I've done daily videos on the channel. They're scheduled up to like September 4th. Probably till September 7th is my goal before I go away. But then I'll be starting school. It's going to be quite an intensive program I'll be in, and I want to succeed, being a little bit older. I am a little too old to just flunk out of college, so we're going to make sure we get it done, which might mean skipping the odd video here and there. I'll definitely still do them, as this is something that I really enjoy commentating and watching the bots. The good news is that even if I do miss the odd video, it just means we're going to have a backlog of more awesome bot games to cast. The bunker does get broken by NegativeZero. Stalkers and Immortal do need to get on top of that tank. They do wander forward. The Immortal goes down, however, the contain has been broken. Very painful contain for NegativeZero, though. It lost quite a bit cleaning that one up. 8 Stalkers, an Immortal, a Sentry, just for a bunker, a tank, 9 Marines. There's a reason why BenBot goes for this opening almost every single game, it seems. So NegativeZero does get up this Nexus. It will be playing from a little bit behind, and there's already one bunker up with a second one on the way for BenBot. Double Widow Mines behind this. We are getting a siege tank on the way, so this is looking a little bit precarious for NegativeZero. Stalkers are poking at the front. An SCV tries to path on out. That does get taken care of. Meanwhile, BenBot is heading towards that Fusion Core battlecruiser tech. It might be a while before it can actually afford a battlecruiser, as it did invest in this third command center, but notably that's a third command center going up, while NegativeZero has just got its natural base getting established, so it is definitely behind on the economy. The Protoss is doing a good job staying out of range of that siege tank, which is very important. Looks like the units are staying almost a little bit further back than usual. Like, sometimes when you watch bot games, you'll see units stay right on the edge of the siege tank. But in this case, they're actually giving it like a fair bit of distance, so the units don't accidentally push each other into the siege tank, which is something that happens quite often. Now another tank sieges up, so this is actually going to save NegativeZero from eating a tank shot. And then the red Protoss is just macroing up behind this. There is the first battlecruiser on the way in order to try and punish NegativeZero a little bit for having the delayed economy. Observer does move forward for NegativeZero. It's still going to be very difficult to break this location, though, due to those tanks, the bunkers. We even have a very preemptive SCV pull-off for BenBot. I'm wondering if these are just pooling here, waiting for that command center to land, and then they'll probably transfer over, if I had to guess. So that's actually quite cool from BenBot, the fact that it's actually just putting those excess SCVs somewhere useful, but then in the end they'll just be able to transfer over as soon as that base goes up. NegativeZero sees this entire army. Some of the Terran bio does move out towards that base, potentially looking to secure that up, as the red Protoss will have to contend with this battlecruiser soon, which just popped on out. We do have the tag, jump enemy base. Can NegativeZero defend this, as that BC does teleport into the main base? The battlecruiser begins going to work, killing off some probes. The Protoss is going to send these stalkers home, but there is no recall to help out. There's energy for a recall, but no recall, as NegativeZero just takes a long, long walk home and is definitely taking some damage here. We do have a stalker warping in. It's actually going to be caught, very unfortunately, for NegativeZero, as it cannot path through there. So many, many probes are going down for the red Protoss. This is incredibly painful, as the battlecruiser will survive and just put itself into the corner here. And then meanwhile, BenBot is able to move out with a bit of bio. The Immortal was left behind when the rest of the units retreated, so that gets picked off. BenBot has got a very, very nice lead in this game. The battlecruiser did get a good amount of damage done. It's fairly rare that you see a PC get so many kills, but that thing got 18 probe kills, which is no joke. Or, yeah, 18 probe kills. Now, BenBot is out on the map with its bio. NegativeZero's very good stalker control is going to pick off some of these units. Now, if BenBot does become a problem for bots, I think it may be a little vulnerable to main base attacks, potentially. It's not something that's easy to program, but if a bot author like NegativeZero, say, did potentially program to shuttle the stalkers into the main base or something like that with the prism, there's, yeah, very little to defend BenBot. It really relies on the fact that bots are not good at avoiding obstacles. We do have a Yamato cannon killing off the prism as a command center gets pushed away. Meanwhile, a few stalkers are getting caught out. I honestly think for NegativeZero, it's probably best to skirmish out in the middle of the map to try and handle what BenBot has got. For now, though, we do have that third base starting to get saturated for NegativeZero. It's a very painful economic situation. We hear the tag, jump enemy base, as there is another battlecruiser coming on in here. No recall. I feel like we don't see that as often from NegativeZero these days. I hope it's not broken on these maps or something like that. BenBot does try and prioritize the Stargate. It shall not get it, though, so it actually doesn't get any probe kills, which is quite important. These Stalkers may actually kill off the BC, and they do, so that is a really nice pick-off for NegativeZero. Getting a win like that, battle cruisers are not cheap. Meanwhile, the third base is going up. So the fact that BenBot committed firepower to trying to kill a Stargate that's very much still alive, and then we do have BenBot jumping yet another battle cruiser in here, so who knows, maybe this time it will be able to get that Stargate. As it comes on in, the BC does see the Stargate, and then it locks onto it, going to use the Yamato cannon, as it knows the Stargate is the natural predator of battle cruisers. Now, these Stalkers are coming in. They were able to kill off the first BC. They could very well get the second one. Another battle cruiser comes on in here. The Stalkers will see that. This BC wants to come on in, but it quickly changes its mind. Although it is going to go back in. Yamato cannon will kill a Stalker. Not quite dodged there. And then we do have a fourth Nexus on the way for NegativeZero, but the Red Protoss is still at a decent army supply. It is getting up a fleet beacon, which is oh so important. Now, the Stargate might not live, as it's dangerously close to getting one-shot by a Yamato cannon, which I'm sure this BC has. There is that Yamato cannon, only 240 damage in this day and age, though. So the Stargate survives one more shot, as NegativeZero does have a Phoenix building. No Tempest yet, as we are waiting for that fleet beacon to finish up. The Red Protoss is getting up to 4 bases, though, and it does seem like NegativeZero has stabilized a bit. It's also getting out a Colossus, which will really help out with the bio of BenBot. This Oracle is leading away all of BenBot's bio, which is definitely keeping that occupied. Stalkers, meanwhile, are moving out for the Red Protoss. We have one Phoenix finding these battle cruisers. They will not win that fight. However, we get a Tempest on the way. So the first Tempest being produced is a big deal. BenBot, I think that's some battle cruisers teleporting on home. Stalkers are engaging on the map. There's the Prism, the Blink to help them micro against the bio, though, with the Guardian Shield being a really nice touch for NegativeZero, making these units take much, much less damage, as there's no attack upgrade on this bio. So those bio units were dealing minimal damage compared to what they could be. And now we do have that first Tempest about to pop out for NegativeZero. The previous game that I cast between these two, NegativeZero just wasn't able to stabilize and get up that great production. But now we are hearing a battle cruiser come on in towards the main base, so NegativeZero will have to handle that. It may lose its Stargate. Meanwhile, we do have another Phoenix on the way, which is definitely not ideal, as, oh, will the BC get the Stargate? It actually will, so that's quite nice. Another one is building for NegativeZero right as that one perishes. Now, Stalkers are coming in. There is the one Tempest that can work away on these battle cruisers tucked away in this corner, and these things are sitting ducks for this Tempest, as they're just programmed to sit there in the corner and hope for the best. But NegativeZero's Tempest, thanks to the Observer, has vision on them. BenBot is looking to get aggressive, though, as it does teleport on in here onto the Tempest of NegativeZero, which stops retreating and does get killed off. So BenBot has got some counterplay programmed into these BCs. Stalkers can skirmish with the BCs, and they will be forced back into the corner, but NegativeZero does have to rebuild that Tempest. It is still getting up there in supply, though. 166 is not bad. BenBot, meanwhile, is attacking out. There is only the anti-ground units defending this base. There is some batteries, there is some cannons. Notably, the battery is not healing up the cannon. No, it actually is healing up the cannon, pardon me. Okay, so that is good to see. Stalkers are moving forward, going to get on top of these siege tanks and pick those off quite easily. So a very good cleanup on the ground army. Now NegativeZero has got to pivot back to dealing with this air army. There is another Phoenix being produced, so NegativeZero not quite sure why it's building these Phoenix against battle cruisers, as there is 5 BCs being built at a time by BenBot, which is just terrifying. NegativeZero does have, it's got 2 Stargates up, so it could have more production. A third Stargate on the way up. I do hope we see some more Tempest soon. This Tempest is working away on some of these BCs. A lot of those BCs do teleport out there. Phoenix does get deleted. The Tempest may actually kill off a battle cruiser, and it does. Meanwhile, on the front lines, there is pressure going on from NegativeZero, so putting BenBot on the defense a little bit, which is quite important, because BenBot has got so many bases right now. It may lose a battle cruiser to these stalkers of NegativeZero, though. We hear the tag, jump Tempest, so this Tempest will not live for long, and unfortunately for NegativeZero, that was going to be one of 2 Tempest, which is quite unfortunate, as it just can't seem to get above that 1 Tempest mark. This Stargate is now being worked on. Fortunately, NegativeZero has got more of those. 2 Tempests being built at a time. That Stargate does go down, but there's still 2 building with another Stargate on the way. Good building placement from NegativeZero, just putting production in good spots, as it's got another one going up there. Tempest and Stalkers are keeping these BCs busy in the corner. We'll see if there's going to be more battle cruisers jumping, but for now, these BCs are just getting over here the old-fashioned way, flying over towards NegativeZero's base. A few of them are still on cooldown for the teleport, but the ones that are off cooldown can just get on out of there, and we are seeing those BCs just be forced on out pretty much right away. This one is on cooldown for a while longer yet, however, the pathing will save it. There is currently only 160 supply for NegativeZero. It's going to kill off yet another battle cruiser, so it is doing some good work. Tanks for BenBot are getting aggressive. BenBot has done a really good job taking lots of bases throughout this game. I know we're looking at NegativeZero's side of things, but BenBot is doing a good job repairing up these BCs, getting them back to the fight. There is Immortals being produced. Maybe not the best at this point. However, NegativeZero has got up to 3 Tempest, which is quite important. They are just about to have +3 attack, which makes them deal just ginormous amounts of damage to the Tempest. NegativeZero is bottlenecked by its gas in this game. It does now have a base up, which has a rich Vespine Geyser. The Phoenix, totally useless, but the Tempest, not so much, as there is lots of Stalkers around as well. BenBot is holding on to this Planetary, though, and that's a lot of DPS from the Terran in order to hold on to this Planetary. The SCVs are getting killed off, which is important for NegativeZero, but a lot of Protoss units are going down during this, so I'm not sure if BenBot will actually lose this base or not. Tempest are sharking around. BenBot saying, SCV killed. We're hearing the tag jump Fortress. Which Fortress was that? Must have been this one. Yeah, okay, just reinforcing this Planetary to keep it alive, whatever risk threshold or damage threshold in order to activate that was triggered. NegativeZero, though, has got up to that nice 6 Tempest count, and that has proved lethal for BenBot, but there's a big blink. The Tempest for NegativeZero do stop moving. They scatter once the BCs show up, but that's a little bit too late now. These BCs are off teleport cooldown, though, so they will be sitting ducks for these Tempest to work on. More battle cruisers coming in on top of Tempest, though. 3 Yamato cannons, 4 Yamato cannons going down, so NegativeZero loses a huge amount of Tempest. There's only 2 left taking shots at these battle cruisers. A lot of Stalkers have died as well. NegativeZero's army has really shrunk. Stalkers are engaging the BCs. Tempest are getting nice shots off. They can definitely pick off a few battle cruisers, but BenBot can replace these units easier than NegativeZero, so that's not a bad trade at all for the Blue Terran. Looks like we may see some of these BCs go down. Another one perishes, but at the same time, a good tactical jump does get on top of and kill yet another Tempest. NegativeZero does have this base here. It's being harassed by a single Hellion, though. And then we do have the Protoss trying to scare up this base as well, which is very, very injured. It may be saved. It may not be, as there is BCs still flying around. BenBot's producing 5 at a time. Upgrades are still rolling for both sides as they try and reach that final level of upgrades. BenBot getting bio upgrades for the odd bio unit it has. NegativeZero getting ship armor, shields as well, which is a big deal. The red Protoss is back up to 5 Tempest, but that's going to drop now as we do see double Yamato cannon killing 1. That is currently 1 BC, I think, for one of those Tempests. Although the BC hasn't died, the Nexus also perishes, so that's a really big pick-off. Hurting NegativeZero, which is still hurting for gas. That Tempest, will it kill the BC? One more shot. And these Tempests still flying around. We hear the tag, jump Tempest once again. 2 battle cruisers coming in at a time. That's enough to ensure a kill on a Tempest. There's actually 3 BCs there. And man, oh man, this is getting tricky to observe. The Tempest are having to scatter, though, as BCs are pushing out against them. NegativeZero not able to stay at that nice 200 supply mark, which you generally want if your opponent is at that. So BenBot has maintained good trades, keeping NegativeZero down on supply. BenBot hasn't really lost any bases. It's kept the pressure on its opponent. Stalkers just cannot contend with 3-3 battlecruisers that easily, despite NegativeZero's very good engagement micro. It's up to the Tempest. There currently is 6 Tempest once again, but there was 6 Tempest before, and BenBot just jumped on them and killed them all, so we very well could see that once more. NegativeZero, it really needs to build up to like 10 Tempest, have the Stalkers sit underneath them. So if there is a blink, the BCs will be worked on. And more importantly, the Tempest do need to keep moving. This is a bit of a risky jump, as lots of Tempest get shots off, whereas only one battlecruiser gets a connection there. Tempest now working away on some medivacs. More BCs are coming forward and are eating Tempest shots, as this one does get hunted down and killed. And it does go down. Now these ones on the right side are the next target. And Tempest are starting to work away on these BCs, forcing them to teleport out pretty much right away. We hear the tag jump Tempest once again. This is going to be a few BCs. There will be a guaranteed Tempest kill amidst this. Oh, actually, no, they targeted separate Tempest there, so not a single kill, as NegativeZero has hit that critical Tempest count, I think. 7 with 4 more on the way. It's also getting the upgrades on them too. This Yamato cannon does go down. That battlecruiser dies for that Yamato, though, and it's not even a one-shot on the Tempest. And fun fact, maybe not so fun fact for BenBot, it's that if you Yamato cannon a Tempest, it goes down to 60 HP. But then if it no, pardon me. Okay, it is still a one-shot, regardless, on the follow-up shot. I stand corrected on that. Maybe I'm thinking of carriers or something. But yes, so that is good for BenBot, at least, that the battle cruisers can still pick off these injured Tempests later on, but for now the pressure is really mounting. NegativeZero is starting to hit this base. There's a Widowmine burrowed. Yamato cannons are going down. We do see Tempest dying. BenBot is now building Thors to help counter the Tempest, which definitely is a viable option. The Blue Terran does still have a phenomenal economy, but with lots and lots of bases. But now we see NegativeZero attacking the upper right, as it does so well, splitting up its army. We do have a jump from those BCs. Once again, double Yamato cannon will hit and kill one of those Tempest. Meanwhile, those BCs are just being pushed back. The Thors, though, definitely will help out. Thor is good against low numbers of ground units, and they are phenomenal against Tempest. So NegativeZero does seem to be bleeding out a few of these Tempest. However, its army is just so spread out, it is difficult to track. And man, oh man, zooming out to the max, it really is difficult to track where all of this bot action is going on. Tempest hitting this planetary, killing off lots and lots of SCVs. Those are big losses that BenBot cannot afford to replace. Over 100 SCVs dying this game. The Thors are going to have to do some work here in order to help handle these Tempests. But that's the thing, NegativeZero isn't exactly just an easy bot to pin down, as its army is everywhere. It will retreat from bad engagements as it whittles away on yet another battlecruiser. This PC almost gets a Tempest, but it does not. This one maybe, nope, still on cooldown. This planetary may just die. The Thor unable to save it in time. NegativeZero immediately wants to plant a Protoss flag there and build a Nexus. BenBot down to 35 SCVs, just having them picked off constantly in this game, really hurting as far as the workers go. Its income is plummeting. It's down to 120 supply all of a sudden. And yeah, this game was quite close for a while, but I think NegativeZero has hit that critical mass. There is presently 8 BCs out, but I don't even know if there's money to repair them anymore. There is Thors, which definitely are nice. Only 2 out, though. And yeah, I'm not sure that's enough. The Tempest even getting shots on the Thors. This Thor tries to chase the Stalkers, but they just run away. Meanwhile, the planetaries are still being assaulted. BenBot was unable to sustain against this, and look at this attack from NegativeZero. Some units attacking the upper right, some units attacking the bottom left, towards like every base of BenBot. It is incredible how it controls these armies individually, these groups of units, and then just, yeah, sees that it's a good idea to do that, and it does. So very well done by NegativeZero. It really is an interesting dynamic watching BenBot versus NegativeZero, because we see NegativeZero falls very far behind in the early game. it gets close to killing off, or BenBot gets close to killing it off. But then if NegativeZero can just reach that high Tempest count, like the 3, 4, well, 6 Tempest really was the turning point in this game, almost. I mean, BenBot did reset the count back down to 2, but it was unable to capitalize on that. And then I think just once the SCVs started dying, the income plummeted. And then, yeah, so NegativeZero attacking the other bases and there being no response to that was very well done. As Tempest beat battle cruisers, it's not something new. And yeah, look at that micro, just maximizing the damage, minimizing the risk. Well done to the red Protoss. Yeah, thanks so much everyone for watching this video. If you haven't already, click that like button, leave a comment down below saying more bots, join the Discord, all that good stuff. Very interesting moves from NegativeZero. I think it's trying to path on top of that Widow mine. There is an observer out, which does come to kill the mine. It does get one final shot off before it dies, though. And yeah, it really is interesting, because I cast a similar game to this between these two, and BenBot won. So yeah, great back and forth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.